Good afternoon. It is once again Friday, 5:30 in the p.m., and you are tuned in to Hotline 21. This is your host for the next 25 minutes, Congressman Danny Davis, U.S. Representative, 7th District of Illinois. And you can tell that I've been out doing things today. I was out this morning with the Perspective Charter School, where my granddaughter is a student, my godson is a student, and a friend of mine's daughter is a student, and where they have a wonderful faculty, great school leadership, and are doing a great job of trying to educate our children. Of course, today was peace promotion, and I was there with them. They had a great march from 2400 South State Street all the way down to where their school is located, after which we went in and had a round table with Ernie Duncan, the former Secretary of Education, with Mike Flager, Father Flager from St. Sabina Church, Alderman Howard Brookins Jr. was there, and Otis Wilson and other community activists, and we talked peace. Peace. It's my position that if it is to be, let it begin with me. If we spend all of our time talking about what others ought to do and what other people ought to be doing, and don't look at ourselves and ask, what are we doing? It's not my brother, it's not my sister, but it's me, O Lord. It's not the preacher, it's not the deacon, it's not the policeman, it's not the mayor, it's not the governor. It's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. If it is to be, let it begin with me. Former President John Kennedy was noted for saying that peace is not only found in treaties, covenants, and charters, but in the hearts of men. And I suspect that if he was alive today and making those same statements, he would have said, in the hearts of men and women, or he would use some way to let people know that some of the gender discrimination that we've practiced in this country for so long is diminishing, it's going away. You know, I go to church a lot, and I remember some churches that did not allow women to be preachers, or then some didn't allow women to be in the pulpit, behind the podium, behind the place from which information would flow. But you know, many congregations, and I'd even say a majority of them, have changed that. And so what does it take to bring about change? I throw that question out today to my viewing audience. What does it take to bring about change? I remember when we used to wear our hair different, when the natural was the thing, and we walked with a bounce. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Things change. What does it take to bring about change? Let's go to the phone and see who we got. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Connie Davis?
I am good, James. How are you?
Okay, now Rosa O'Donnell and Alan Baldwin, Stephen Colbert, And Robert De Niro, they right about Donald Trump. And I don't think that lady should apologize because that company lady, that I think the one was with Alice Cooper. I don't think she should apologize to Donald Trump because he going too far.
Well, do you think that would help her situation any if she apologized to the president? Or maybe she ought to apologize to the public.
To the public, because Donald Trump did not apologize to President Obama when he said he was not born in the United States, and Donald Trump did not apologize when to those people hospital leave immigrants up. And what if he go after Joe, Donald Trump?
Well, you know, there's going to be a lot of conversation going on in this country about the president, the presidency, and unfortunately, I think it's going to take some of our thoughts away from the other problems that exist. How do you put food on the table for people who are hungry? How do you help people who need health care and can't get it?
He didn't apologize for that. He didn't apologize about Hillary Clinton. He didn't apologize. But he wanted to tell that lady, the one with Alice Cooper, I forgot her name, but he wanted her to apologize. And she should have lost her job.
So
Donald Trump.
Are you saying that you wouldn't want her to apologize?
Because Donald Trump did not apologize to Hillary.
All right.
And he did not apologize when he cutting everything else off.
So you give what you get. Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh. And what if he go after Joe, Donald Trump? He went after everybody else?
Well, you know, there's an old saying that you're going to reap whatever it is that you sow.
Okay.
You may reap it in the valley, but you may sow it up on the mountain.
And y'all have a nice evening, Connie Davis.
Thank you very much. I like your notions, and I thank you. You have a wonderful weekend. All right, we'll keep rolling right along. We got another caller on the air. Caller, are you there?
U.S. Representative 7th District. One of the things I would like to see, and I think we need it desperately. Now, I'm not knocking a college education. It is still of value and all that. But I would like to turn back the clock a little bit where a high school diploma was worth something. There was a time when you went in people's homes where they had the high school diplomas on the wall. It was like a thing of pride. And the high school diploma is not worth what it used to be because at one time, if you wanted to go into management, all you had to have was a high school diploma, and you had the entry-level education. If you wanted to be, if I'm lying, you stop me dead in my track. If you wanted to be a Chicago cop, all you had to have was a high school diploma. And we need to bring back in terms of the value what a high school diploma was in order to compete with other people in the world. It is unfair when you got these other countries where people can get a college degree and they don't have to go broke. And like I said, we need to bring back that value.
Well, wouldn't it be just as good to make it where you could get a college education and not go broke?
Now, stop me dead in my tracks if I'm wrong. I was listening to some people that's much older than my family. They would tell me one time in order to get an associate degree from the city college, it was free.
Yep, that's true.
But we need to bring back certain values. I'm not knocking whatever. You can't keep on telling people, go get a college degree, but yet after they get that college degree, they're not employed. I don't think you go to college to get a job. You don't go to college to get a job. You go to college to get that knowledge where you can be compensated for all that stuff you learn. But I still think we need to bring back the value in terms of that high school diploma.
All right, I would agree that you could go to college for both. One,
I'm not knocking it. Hell, why don't we make it a situation when students are doing real well in school where they get both almost at the same time?
yeah, well, I think we need to make education more cost effective, and that is more cost desirable, and then we'd have more people able to experience education.
We on the same page.
All right.
But the thing is, it's unfair these other countries when they can get a college education for less money, and we need to be able to compete.
And we need to challenge our young people who get education. I'm reminded of President Julius Nyerere, who was the president of Tanzania, and given that graduation speech one year that he gave, he said that those amongst us who have been fortunate to acquire this commodity called education, we should be likened to a warrior in an African village where they were about to run out of food and they were going to starve to death. So they gave all the food that they had left to this one warrior so that he could go to a neighboring village and bring back help to his starving brothers and sisters.
We on the same page.
All right. Thank you. President Nyerere suggested that if the warrior took the food and did not return, then he was a traitor. But if he took that food and brought back help to his starving brothers and sisters, then he was a hero. And we need our young people who graduate from colleges and universities and who've acquired lots of knowledge, bring that knowledge back to the community, back to 39th Street, back to St. Louis Avenue, back to Madison Street, back to the ghettos and barrios, back to the inner city. Come back and help your starving brothers and sisters who can benefit from the knowledge you have attained. Congratulations, though, to all the graduates. Caller, are you there?
Yes, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I want to say this. That all people don't need to go to college. You know where they have to go? A lot of them? Trade schools. They make a lot of money, printers and welders and other people. But the thing is, when they go to a trade school, they don't have, where are they going to go get a job? Because downtown, like I said, $100 million worth of construction, and you don't see that many Mexicans or African Americans, and you don't see any Mexican American or African American construction companies. Why is that? Oh, you know, I mean, here's it. You say, Mark, I'm tired of Mark. All them jobs are right there for us.
Well, I think it would be great.
One other thing.
Yeah, let me agree with you about not everybody having to go to college, but I think everybody should find something that they're good at, something that they feel that they can do about as well as anybody else it is in the world. Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King used to give speeches to us when I was a young fellow. And he used to always admonish us to simply be the best that we could be. My mother taught us a poem that I learned when I was a little boy. And she said, don't try to compare yourself to other people. Be you. And she'd say, if you can't be a pine at the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the rail. If you can't be a highway, be a trail. If you can't be the moon, be a star. It is not by size that you win or fail, but be the best of whatever you are. Dr. King said, if you... was a street
100%
sweeper.
right. And I agree with you 100%. That is how it's supposed to be. But this is a different world now. You know that.
Well,
So
but
what else, how can we, like you said last week, we got to get together somehow.
I believe that if you are the best shoe shiner in Chicago, that you could make a living shining shoes by being that people would beat a path, as I know they do, because they go to a place called Shine King, and people be stacked up in there to get their shoes shined. And the boys who are good at shining shoes make themselves enough honest money to buy some of the things they want and need, and they don't have to be out on the corner hollering crack and blow, pills and thrills. Thank you so much for calling, and let's go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman, and it's a great day to be on God's green earth.
I agree with you.
I know about that shoe shine place. I live way far. I mean, way far. I have drove over to the west side to take a lot of shoes over there, get it clean, and they do a good job. Now, it's going to tie in now what I was saying, like the gentleman prior saying, I think all people need to try to get to college. But we know school is not for everybody. Now, you said something very wonderful. You got to find a niche that is not available around. Like you say, a shoe shop, a cleaners, a hatter. You know, you could be dumber than dumb and go get taught to be certain things, to do certain things. Don't be lazy. You just got to search and look. And it's just, you know what? We always talk about, well, I don't have this, I can't get this. That's because you're not trying to get anything. Let me tell you, I got a friend of mine. He ain't finished high school, and he got more property than I do. But you know what? He learned to do what he had to do with money. That's the key. Learn to do what you got, and it could work for you. Always let money work for you. So again, you know, you're a good guy. You give good advice. People that's listening, sometimes you just got to take a little advice and then thank yourself. Thanks very much for taking the call. I want you to have a great weekend. Please be safe, because it's crazy out here. These damn people out here is nuts. But let me get out there so I can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Money and knowledge both are power. Knowledge is power because if you know something, nobody can necessarily take that away from you. And that was one of the things that the people of my generation would constantly tell us, that if you've got knowledge, nobody can take that. They may take away other things, but they can't take away what you know to be true. And they can't take away truth. So seek use the truth through knowledge, and the acquisition of power will come because you will know what to do. If I got another caller, we'll take that caller. But if not, then I'm on my own little roll right now. Learn, you know, when you know how to do something and you know that you do it well, it gives you a sense of feeling where it makes you feel good to just simply know that you are the best barber, or you're one of the best barbers on the block, or that you know how to repair an automobile. You can fix a television set. You can do something, you can bake a cake just about better than any cake baker around. Or people come from miles around just to get a little shot of your sweet potato pie. Or you know that you can do something with collard greens that nobody can do better. And so, if you feel good about yourself based on what you know you can do and what you know how to do, then that gives you a sense of self-assurance, it gives you a sense of pride, and it increases your value to the rest of society. You know, oftentimes when I see people building something and being able to put things together, it just warms my heart. Because I know another little poem that my mother didn't teach us, I don't know where I learned it, but it said that I watched them tearing a building down, a group of men in an angry town, with a heave, hove, and a lusty yell. They swung a beam, and a side wall fell. And so I asked the foreman, are these men skilled? The ones I would need if I wanted to build? And he answered, no indeed. Unskilled labor is all that I need. Why, I can wreck in a day or two what it has taken builders a lifetime to do. And so I thought of myself as I went my way and asked, which of these roles am I prepared to play? Am I a builder who measures life with patience and care? Or am I a wrecker who stalks the town, content with the task of tearing down? Do you know that it is so easy to tear things down? There are people who even take delight in tearing other people down. I'd much rather prop another person up. That's why it was so thrilling for me to be at this peace march with the prospective school this morning, where all the kids were out with their white t-shirts on, and I decided I'd just keep mine on all day. It was a wonderful, wonderful, exciting lesson that they were learning. They were learning as much as perhaps they would have learned if they had been in the algebra class, or the trigonometry class, or the United States history class, or the Western civilization class, or if they were learning to conjugate a verb, or to learn what different grammatical approaches are, and how much they mean and how helpful. So you can learn a lot of things. My daddy used to tell us that the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. And so when you learn something new, that puts a new bit of pep in your step. When you learn something new, you feel good because you've never known that before. And now you are armed with this new sense of knowledge, which makes you partially a new you, because now you know something you've never known before. Now you can do something that you could never have done before. Now you can embrace thoughts and ideas that you never had before. So my friends, make use of the knowledge that is available to us. Congratulations to all the young people who going on prom night, going on graduation night, being certified as people who have overcome and are moving into a new arena called tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.